Broads Media.
Hey, get those dubs. The name of the game is grab those dubs. And the name of the game is making sure you're healthy and fit. What am I telling you? Well, I'm telling you that we have a new sponsor, and that's Chris Gates Fitness and his online fitness training camp. Chris is an online fitness coach. He's a massive football fan and spent his summers at Eagles training camp as a kid, going to games at the Vet, and he's created a fitness community designed specifically for football fans just like me and you. If you're ready to elevate your health and fitness goals, and do it with a group of like-minded people looking to support and encourage each other, you have to check out Chris Gates Fitness. There's seriously so much packed into his training camp. I joined and was blown away by everything you get as a member. There's customized monthly workout programs that will help you build muscle, burn fat, and feel more athletic. And there's also access to live Q&As with Chris. There's exclusive community support and more that will help hold you accountable and work towards your goals. The training camp members also compete in fitness challenges each month, as well as sports challenges like weekly football pick'ems in the fall, where Chris gives out free prizes like home gym equipment, supplements, free one-on-one coaching calls, and more. And if you join this week, use code BROADS and you will get 80% off your first month. Listen up, that is $10. Do not miss out. Visit chrisgatesfitness.com/training camp. Click the link in the description and start your journey today. With that, thank you all so much and enjoy the show. Gregory Soto, when I say this with all due respect, Gregory Soto could probably get struck by lightning 92 times tonight and still live. How did we pull off that eighth inning? Yo, nice play, Bomer, too, by the way, over at third to help us get out of that jam. In what world? This one, apparently. This team is so desperate to feel good about themselves, I don't even give a damn how it happened. I just needed another win in the win column, okay? Their offense sucked. Their offense was non-existent for the entire game. Their base running sucked. Yet in the clutch, after Gregory Soto, of all people, finds a way, throwing 3,000 balls, a couple of them wild pitches. Don't even know why you went to him, quite frankly. Hoffman just struck out Carlos Santana on a filthy backdoor slider. His numbers against lefties are fine for me, baby. Especially when you compare it to Gregory Soto, who I don't trust outside of maybe a clean sixth inning. I like Soto if your starter goes 5. You need someone to bridge you to get to the 7th, 8th, 9th, and you're starting off an inning with nobody on base. Hey, Gregory Soto, we need you to get 3 outs here for us, kid. That's Soto's move currently. But instead, Rob overthinks it and then gives us all a heart attack. And at the time of me criticizing the decision to go to Soto, with 0 runs on the board, I kept getting hit in many different ways with this take. How can you possibly be mad at the manager when the offense is giving you 0 runs? You can't win at this pace. And my answer is very simple. It doesn't have to be one or the other. I'm mad at base running. I'm mad at the offense. And I'm mad at Rob Thompson in the moment. And I'm mad at Soto for making me sweat it out that way. Since when do I have to only point my finger at one detail? Absolutely not. It all gets into the crosshair of criticism for me. At least that's the way that I pick apart the game. But guess what? Rob, he might as well go buy himself a couple lottery tickets and see if he can get lucky enough to secure a bag. And we're talking the mega millions. Because he already has fat pockets as it is. Because there's no way they should have escaped that 8th inning, giving up 0. Maybe it wouldn't have mattered anyway, though, because of the way your top dogs figured it out in the 9th. It all starts with one, Bryce Harper. Because of course it does. Double, Bowman JT walk, Brandon Marsh with the good old-fashioned sac fly that gave you the 1-0 lead. And even though Strahm did a magnificent job in the 9th, a 1-0 lead is a big difference morale-wise heading into the bottom of the 9th compared to 3-0 thanks to Nicky Doubles. Nicky Two Bags with a beauty going the other way with it. A nice piece of hitting. There was actually a pitch prior in the at-bat that I went, oh, no. Because I saw it, and I saw the trajectory of where it was going, and yeah, it seemed like a pretty automatic Nick is going to swing, and it'll probably be a strikeout, and it'll probably be off the plate, and it will probably be uncompetitive. But no. Nicky Two Bags says, hold on a second. And just like that, the feelings around this city with this team is way better than it would have been with the dropping of a series in Minnesota. Even though it's still possible, things are a lot different when Zack Wheeler doesn't pitch. So we'll see what happens Wednesday afternoon. But at least it bought us a day of happiness and happy tears because I watched Zack Wheeler throw a damn gem. And holy shit, is he good. Yeah, you heard it here first. Zack Wheeler, holy shit, he's good. And remember, early in the frame, Minnesota was fouling off so many pitches. Pitch count was rising. Zach was battling. And then after that, whoa. You're not touching him. It is what it is. Your duty is to try your very best to get him out of the game so then you deal with somebody else. And even Hoffman, he put guys on. He worked himself out of it, but he put guys on. My point is, anybody but Wheeler. That's how you have to look at it if you're the Twins. And, well, after 100-plus pitches and a good, decent-sized break where Zack Wheeler can recharge, this is probably the best time, the best time for the Phillies to have him, but the worst time if you're Minnesota to see him because he's as fresh as he possibly comes. And through 7, ew. His pitch sequence, filth. His ability to throw every pitch your way. The guessing game's got to be miserable. What do you sit up there and ponder about? Probably walking your ass back to the dugout because that's what's inevitable here, okay? You're not actually going to have success. You're not actually going to think that you're going to put the ball in play and get on base, do you? All you can do is ponder about how stupid you're going to look when you have to slowly walk back to the fellas and say, I got nothing. They're all looking for tips. They're all looking for maybe some details. Yo, bros, what'd you see up there? What? I didn't see a damn thing. You guys see pitches when Zack Wheeler throws? Just say. Thank you, Matt Strahm, for not making this worse. And I'm not just talking about blowing it, because obviously that would be extremely painful. But I'm saying loading the bases up with one out. Maybe a leadoff triple to start the 9th where you go, what? No, I'm not playing this game tonight. We didn't have to deal with any of the nonsense once they snagged the lead and took control. And Matt Strahm even got his first save of the season. Knowing how they use a collective group, that almost surprised the hell out of me. You never know who's going to get the ball with the finishing touches each night. Could be anybody. Hell, I just watched Soto in the game of the 8th inning for no damn reason. So you go to guys whenever you feel you want to if you're Rob. And I was a little shocked to hear that for Matt Strahm, with the insane season he's had, that was the first time. There were some crazy numbers being thrown around all over the place this game. And some that are not very pleasurable. Let's see. This was during the game, courtesy of Corey Seidman. So there were more innings after this. But the Phillies have been held scoreless in 31 of the last 36 innings, and 16 of them have been 1, 2, 3. Think about how demoralizing that is. I mean, there's no energy in the dugout. You're not getting any flow with, just, what do they call that when they keep passing the bat down the order? Nope. Passing the, what is it? It's contagious. It's contagious. 3 guys go up. Now 4 guys, 5th guy, the 6th guy in the inning, the 7th guy in the inning. It has that effect. The fellas feel it. Just keep on moving down the chain, baby. Instead, it's the complete opposite. It's ridiculous. Let's see. What else do we have here? I'm looking up some Matt Strahm stuff. He's just unbelievable. Look at that hair. Oh, that's Brandon Marsh's hair from behind. I apologize. Both some really strong lettuce, though. Let me tell you. Well, listen. The series is tied 1-1. That's what matters. Zack Wheeler was dominant. And for the Phils to finally get the offense against their closer, that's why this game makes no sense to me. That's why on the graphic on the screen here on YouTube, it says Phils win, Phils win. I'm asking questions. How in the world was that when they got their offense cruising? You got to make them pay. You put a few base runners on. Here's the difference. When Hoffman did it, he's striking out Carlos Santana on the outside part of the dish with the dirty slider. When the Phillies get walked, it leads into a sac fly and then a 2 RBI double. I was hoping for Stott prior to his pop-up in the infield. Well, it was right into the foul territory around third base, if I remember correctly. But you could tell he was mad. He kind of smacked his bat on the plate, and he was upset with himself. I would have liked to see 5-0. You know what I'm saying? 5 rip, or even 4 rip with a double of his own. I need to see Stott get hot. Not satisfied that he gets a single, or not satisfied because, hey, at least he got on base again and there was a ball that was barreled up that wasn't caught, should have been caught, but at least you're doing the right things by hitting the ball hard. I'm not talking about all that. I'm saying I want a tear. Is that too much to ask for from our guy Stotty? I liked listening to the broadcast, and they got Bobby Dickerson on, and they're talking about how he doesn't take all of his worries that are happening at the plate in the field, and he's a leader in an infield that has Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, and Alec Boehm. Bryson Stott is one of the leaders of this infield. I don't know if he was just saying positive things about the kid and, blowing smoke up the rear end, because why wouldn't you when you have the headset on as an infield coach talking to the fans? But I wouldn't be surprised if he's out there yapping and, saying things to Trey as they continue to grow together and to build that bond and relationship turning to where it is cohesive as hell. And, yeah, I won't be surprised if he does do some great things out there vocally, and doesn't take the bad that's happening when he's at the box on the defensive side. But I want more. I want the month of August to be Bryson Stott's month. So he's got, maybe a week or so until we flip the calendar over again, which is absurd how quickly it's happening. And then that's going to be what we watch for here on Broads Media, is a massive Bryson Stott turnaround. The Phillies are 64-37. We'll see how it goes for our baseball team. All right, let's go to you, the Anytime Hotline. Let's hear from the people.
It's a great win tonight. I mean, Castellanos, gritty at bat. Marsh, way to just get a run home. But Wheeler was the star of the show tonight, and it was great to see. Unbelievable outing. Couldn't have been really any better. But, I mean, this offense, it's the same thing that's happened 2 years in a row in the playoffs. It's happening right now. And we get into these couple game spurts where the entire lineup just cannot hit. It's really wild because we have so many good hitters in our lineup, but they all go cold at the same time. I don't know if it's whether they all get tight or I don't know, because when they're hot, but when they're cold, they're cold. I mean, Dombrowski, if I were him, I would be looking at not one, but two good bats to put in the lineup. They don't have to be great bats, but they don't have to be like a Rooker, but maybe in a Rosarena and a Lane Thomas. So some games we don't have to throw out a Rojas or even a Marsh if he's struggling. But if I were Dombrowski, that's what I would do. But good solid win tonight considering the offense laid a big egg until late.
Yeah, they did. They did lay a big egg, for sure. And they left this game somehow with the victory. Here's sort of what was going through my head when you were talking about how bad the offense is and why it keeps happening. And I'm not trying to make excuses for this club by any means, because they have to figure this thing out, or else we are going to see another disappointment unless a very taxed pitching staff can somehow carry them. And when I say that, I mean Ranger has sort of hit a wall here, and a lot of guys have never reached 200 innings before, and we're going to need them to. So basically, if the offense does go quiet, can we get a super strength from your pitching? Like can they carry you through the ugly spurts like Zack Wheeler did, and can you get that from multiple different starters throughout a playoff series? That's how you're going to have to win if you can't figure out how to get more competence from your batting order. But you bring up Randy Arozarena. Well, Randy Arozarena was hitting 200 all of the first half, and he's a damn good hitter. And you mentioned it, there's a lot of damn good hitters in this lineup. So if you go out and get a Lane Thomas, well, if all of these damn good hitters have downward spirals, guys like Lane Thomas most likely will have some downward spirals. And I guess my point is, I don't know what to do about this. I almost feel this is part of the game. And I know that sucks to hear. But maybe this is just what the game is. The Dodgers, the Yankees are going through something ugly right now when they're playing games against the Mets and they're losing in a Subway Series, and they've been crumbling game by game, series by series, except for that Orioles series right before break, but they somehow urinated all over themselves with how they lost that final game in such heartbreaking fashion with obvious routine plays in the middle of the infield and then out in left field. Guys are falling on the turf and they can't get to the ball and they lose in walk-off fashion. So they somehow even blew good feelings finally winning a series against a damn good Baltimore team because of how ugly they shot themselves in the foot late in the final game. They don't have this lineup that's only filled with trying to swing out of their shoes. If that was the case, then I would agree that maybe there's something fundamentally flawed with their entire approach. But Bryce isn't only a home run hitter. Bohm isn't only a home run hitter. Trey Turner's hitting for over 340. I don't know where he's at now, but you look at his batting average every single damn day, and it's significantly over 300. Bryson Stott's not a home run hitter. Brandon Marsh isn't a home run hitter. So it's not as if we have this lineup that's just covered with men that are squeezing the bat with this thought and the ability of just raking and hitting a 500-foot moonshot, swinging out of their cleats every single at-bat. Now, once again, I'm not telling you that this is okay and I'm satisfied and 0 runs and 1, 2, 3 innings and all that. Like, there's a middle ground here, right? Maybe they're not going to be putting up 15 runs a game, but I can get more than 0 against a damn Minnesota team, or I can get more in game 2 against the Pittsburgh Pirates, so we don't drop the first 2 games of the series and then have to salvage this thing by winning a game 3 and pretending like that's okay when it's not. I want to take at least 2. You know what I'm saying? So I do wonder how much is part of the game, and this is just the nature of it, that the offense goes through their ups and downs, and sometimes we do see the extremes of it, and then how much you have to toy with here to play around with it. And adding a bat will surely help, and I'm in favor of a Brent Rooker. I'm in favor of getting a big name like Randy Arozarena, who had multiple home runs against the Yankees, had multiple RBI in a 4-game set against New York most recently. So I'm all in on it. But those guys have flaws. It's not as if Randy comes in here after hitting 200 in the first half and he's going to enter this lineup and then they're going to have no issues anymore. He'll probably strike out a couple times in a game and go 1 for 4 with a single only. And that won't satisfy us either. And that would be getting a bat at the deadline. And then you also need bullpen help. There's now rumors that they might even look for a starter, maybe talk to Chicago White Sox, see what they can bring. Like maybe there's some more being added. And with that, you only have so many limited assets. You can't go get 2 bats, a starter, and a reliever. You know what I mean? So, look, I'm just talking out loud. I don't know the answer, and I don't know necessarily how I'm going to feel about this in a couple days if this continues. But I'm telling you for the right now, that's sort of what hit me as I took that call, that I'm just as mad as anybody else, but I don't know if just getting a bat at the deadline fixes these issues. That's real, which is, you know, teams go through this all the time. We just don't care when the when the Yankees do it. We just don't care when other teams do. Other teams are doing it just like the Phillies are. And all the good teams, they're putting together 700 win percentage, 650 win percentage, 620 win percentage, and then there's maybe 6 or 7 games that look gross. 8 games that look terrible. But we don't follow the Dodgers in the middle of June or in the late stages of May where that might pop up for them. I'm speaking out loud. I don't know. All right. Let's take our next call here.
I don't know how to feel about that game right there. I really don't. I mean, the only good thing that I can see out of that game is that Wheeler looked great and his back wasn't a concern. I mean, the base running issues are terrible. Rojas continuously getting picked off at first base. And Turner getting thrown out at second when you're in a 0-0 game. It's atrocious. Castellanos only shows up when it's convenient for him.
What does that mean? Time out. What does that mean? 9th inning with a 2 RBI double? He only wants to show up when it's convenient for him? I don't know. I feel like that was an unnecessary shot. No, guy had the biggest hit of the game and gave you some security in that 9th, so we're not sweating it out as much. And made a pretty decent grab over right field for a classic standard, what we've been accustomed to, which is a Nick Castellanos slide-ish grab to the front of him and to the left, and he gets his glove in there, makes a nice catch. Come on. What do you mean when it's convenient for him? Listen, if the 9th inning in the clutch is convenient for him and that's when he shines, then by all means, baby, I'm right here for it. But I'll let you keep going.
Called before, and I said, Big Dick Nick, but, I mean, the dude literally only shows up when it's convenient for him. I guess Strahm pitching in the 9th inning is a positive. Hopefully, he will end up getting into that 9th inning role with Alvarado starting to slip and fall down into the 6th, 7th inning type spot. But it's hard. It's hard to watch right now. This is not the fight that we need, and we definitely need a key piece at the trade deadline. Definitely.
Sure. Oh, no doubt about it. Look, I didn't need this little stretch to tell me that they need to go get help at the deadline. This is what all great teams do. When you are at the top of the league, you don't sit back and pretend like you're good. You don't think that you're already in place and you don't need to go take big swings and you should just marginally improve certain areas of your team. That's why I've been screaming from the mountaintops. It's time to go all in. You never know what can happen. Someone could go ice cold. Someone can go super quiet. Hey, good thing we picked up player X, Y, and Z because player X was already on the roster and he somewhat fell off a cliff and hasn't been productive for us for a while now. So, yeah, I mean, I don't need, and I'm not saying that you're saying it's the time just because of this recent trip, but yeah, yes, they need some players here. Yes, go get Luis Robert. Go get Brent Rooker. Go get Mason Miller. Go get a special weapon. I want Dave Dombrowski to do it. Do I think he will? I don't know. His track record screams most likely not, but there are times when he does go for it. Now is it time, and I've been on the record saying that this is the type of team where it does make sense to go for it like that. It does. Because even though we are struggling and it's uncomfortable to watch, reality is they're a damn good baseball team. A damn good baseball team. That's just in it right now. And maybe it takes a wonky, weird series in Minnesota where you win a game where your offense is basically a nothing burger and you win in the ninth, and after that you win in a Wednesday afternoon game, you take 2 or 3, you win a road series, and then what? You have an off day on Thursday before a good Cleveland team comes to your ballpark. You got the Yankees at home, so a massive homestand, and you know how well they play at CBP. Maybe all it takes is this nice, solid, gritty, weird Tuesday night win followed by a Wednesday afternoon win, and then the rest is history here, and we somewhat laugh at this later on, like, remember when we thought this team was a mess? You know what I'm saying? Let's see what happens Wednesday, and then I can start convincing ourselves that there's reasons to be optimistic with the homestand in place. Okay? All right, we'll take one more call and then wrap up the show. Let's go to Amadeo.
Well, what do you know? Getting hits and scoring runs can win you a ball game. I never thought I would say that in my life. Never thought that was a possible thing that can happen over the past couple of days. But hey, you found a way to win the ball game. You desperately needed that win, and it was a gutsy win. And Zack Wheeler was dominant. So can we stop being worried about his back? Because it looked like it didn't bother him today, and I'm sure it's not bothering him that much at all. So he was amazing. And that was a typical Zack Wheeler start in a situation where you really needed it. And I was scared as hell when Rob Thompson brought in Gregory Soto to get out of the 8th inning. I thought taking out Jeff Hoffman was overthinking and overmanaging a little bit, but thankfully Alec Bohm made that play over at third base just to tag the bag. Thankfully he found a way to make that. It was a routine play, but sometimes Alec Bohm messes that up. Sometimes it just happened because that's the Phillies. And, you know, gutsy performance in the top of the ninth when their pitcher on the mound clearly did not have his best stuff.
Agreed, and I love the way that this team fought. The only thing I will push back on is the back wasn't bothering him, so maybe we should somewhat, take a step back. The one thing about Wheels, if I remember correctly from some of his postseason starts and when they did push him back an extra day, a dead arm, and they were trying to really get the most out of him, when he gets that extra, whatever it is he needs, he does look electric again. It's more of when the wear and tear occurs after he gets that much needed rest or that extra day or whatever it is. Like when him and Aaron Nola were hitting a wall deep into their first ever playoff run, and then you kind of see how they managed Wheeler. They might have to give him an extra day here and work with him. I feel he does know how to respond when he gets what he needs. But then if you continue to watch how it goes after that, it's not always clean. It's not always clear. So I'm curious. It's less about today. With all this rest, I was thinking about Zack Wheeler being awesome. But now that he got out there, what's his next 3 starts look like? And maybe not the next one, but then the one after that. And maybe the answer is great. Maybe he looks phenomenal. And we did overreact, me being the one here, to the back injury. But this one start, does it now make me feel that I have enough information on the back? Him going out and looking that great made sense to me. It's more about how does his back react to all of that time off now that he was throwing as well as he did, if that makes sense. But other than that, I agree completely about Jeff Hoffman and Gregory Soto and overthinking it in the 8th inning there, and Rob Thompson, and why he decided to do that, I have no idea, and I couldn't agree more with you there. So all good stuff here, fellas. I appreciate your phone calls throughout the program and appreciate all your love and support, and we'll see how this thing goes in Minnesota tomorrow. So thank you all so much for enjoying, and I'll catch you on the next one.